Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking right now at 8 o'clock, a portion of I-95 closed in Johnston County after this crash. This is a live look from the WRAL breaking news tracker. We'll tell you how you can get around this.
And it's messy out there on this WRAL weather alert day. We're starting off with the rain, wind, and chilly temperatures. I'll show you what it will feel like as you head out.
Oh, yeah, that rainy commute this morning. A live look from the WRAL storm tracker this morning. And US 1 there in Apex. We're tracking the road conditions as you start your day. You can see the backup that's happening right there in US 1.
And SNAP in limbo. More than 1 million North Carolinians may not receive food benefits next month because of the government shutdown. The scramble from state leaders to find a solution before time runs out. Expected to end this coming weekend if they don't find a solution. We'll have that story and so much more on your rainy Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
And I'm Ken Smith. Of course, this is a WRAL weather alert day. With that in mind, let's get right back to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Weather Center, tracking it all for us.
This is a live look at dual Doppler 5000 radar, where we have some patches where it doesn't look like rain's coming down, but there's likely a good bit of drizzle there. Just in this particular pattern, it's just wet and pretty miserable. You can see some rain around the triangle area and then a few holes in the precipitation a little farther to the south. Our hour-by-hour rain chances through the morning at 90%, this afternoon 80, and during the evening commute it drops down to around 50%, but that still means you've got a good chance of running into some rain for your evening commute. Also, the winds gusting out of the northeast 25 to 35 miles per hour. Could be a few isolated power outages, and it just feels cold out there, more like mid to late December, as our temperatures will be in the low 50s. We take a live look at what's happening here on Fayetteville Street from our Jimmy V camera, and you can see all that wind moving those trees around. Our wind is coming steady out of the northeast at 17 and temperature only at 48 degrees. So it's a pretty miserable start to the day, and it doesn't get much better with highs only in the low 50s, and the wind does continue. We continue to watch the center of circulation here of Melissa moving closer and closer to the shoreline of Jamaica, which is right there. It's only about 35 miles away at this point. It's a very slow moving storm, and a storm that's going to do historic damage, unfortunately, to the island of Jamaica. Still likely to be Category 5 as it moves across Jamaica through the afternoon, and then on to Cuba as Category 4, and then to the Bahamas as Category 2. So again, this is going to be catastrophic for not only the island of Jamaica, but most likely Cuba as well. More about that coming up, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, we're staying on top of that breaking news there in Johnston County. I-95 South closed as a result of a crash. Detours are in place. That's where we find WRAL's Ali Catlabar along with Michael Jordan, the WRAL breaking news tracker. So what do you know right now, Ali?
Well, right now we're seeing a very heavy cleanup process underway. It is very messy out here. It smells like gasoline. We see debris all over the road here. In the very far distance, you can see one of those 18-wheelers that was involved in this crash. It has damage to the back end, and then we also saw passing it another 18-wheeler. The cab was detached and destroyed. We're working to confirm with authorities on the scene here whether there were any injuries and what the extent of those injuries are. But we're, of course, staying on top of this. We're keeping you updated. Ken, what can you say about those detours? We saw a lot of traffic headed this way.
Yeah, it's a real mess there on I-95 southbound. You're heading south on I-95. You want to take Highway 301 there in Kenley to avoid what's happening there on I-95 southbound. We also have the state troopers working another crash on I-85 southbound that just cleared a few minutes ago. It's completely cleared, so which means I-85 in the southbound lanes, no problems to report this morning. We had a couple of incidents along I-87 on the shoulder of the road. It's completely cleared here at Smithfield Road. A little farther down the street, though, near the New Hope Road exit, there's this incident still off to the shoulder of the road, adding to the morning congestion that we see there on I-87 in those southbound lanes. So if you're coming from Zebulon, you're coming from Nightdale, you're in a rush this morning, you might want to take Nightdale Boulevard. Right now, you're looking at a 6-minute delay, a 15-minute delay if you're looking at, if you're coming in from Wake Forest. There is a crash on US 1 coming in from Apex around the Highway 55 area. We're seeing that causing a 17-minute delay. So something to keep in mind. You're about to head out there in Apex. You're getting ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
All right, thank you, Ken. Well, the roads are wet as people are heading out this morning, and Kelsey Coffey is in the WRAL storm tracker monitoring those road conditions on the Raleigh Beltline. Kelsey, I know when I was heading out this morning, I saw a lot of ponding on the road. Are you guys seeing anything like that right now?
Yes, Michelle, we are. We just got off the Beltline and now we're here on Western Boulevard. We'll go ahead and give you a live look now at road conditions so you can see just water there on the roads. Slick, wet roads this morning all across our viewing area. So just be careful out there as you're headed out on your morning drive. We know that we've got leaves now on the ground. You can see a few of them there in front of us. So those leaves could clog up some storm drains, which could eventually lead to some ponding. So if you are headed out the door, just give yourself a little bit of extra time in your morning routine because you're going to be driving a little bit slower this morning because some of this rain could impact your visibility. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And you can stay on top of the forecast with the WRAL weather app. It is free to download with more than a dozen different radar views for you to choose from. Make sure to turn on those push alerts so you receive important weather notifications right to your phone.
New this morning, a Durham caregiver who is accused of stealing money from her clients is in jail without bond. 35-year-old Kirsten Gibson is accused of taking money from the bank accounts of her clients at the facility where she works. Warrants say that Gibson works at the Durham Ridge Assisted Living Facility. We've reached out to that facility. We're waiting to hear back. She's expected to be back in court tomorrow.
This morning, authorities are investigating after a car hit and killed a man in Johnston County. This happened last night along NC 50 near the Meadow community that's just outside Benson. State Highway Patrol says a man and his wife were trying to turn around on the road before getting stuck in a ditch. Another driver stopped to help. That's when the man attempted to direct traffic and the car hit him. Troopers have not released the names of the people involved.
More than 1 million North Carolinians are at risk of losing food off their tables. SNAP benefits won't go out as scheduled on Saturday if the government shutdown continues. WRAL's Laura Levine live this morning in Raleigh. And Laurie, so many people rely on these benefits to feed their families.
Ken, good morning. Food banks and organizations across the Triangle are preparing to see a surge in demand. As we know, if this government shutdown continues, the government SNAP program will no longer issue benefits in North Carolina beginning this Saturday, November 1st. So SNAP provides food assistance to more than 1.4 million North Carolinians, including more than 600,000 children. We spoke with a local nonprofit called Table that feeds 1,125 Orange County kids every week. They say families are already being stretched then, and this will exacerbate the hunger problem in our communities.
The average cost of a family to live in Chapel Hill, at least Carborough area, is about $2,100 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment. And then they're spending about $800 on groceries. So if you do the math, it's only leaving them about $500 to $600 for everything else.
So state health leaders are working with federal partners to find a solution. Meanwhile, happening today, we know Attorney General Jeff Jackson will be making a major announcement on food assistance today. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Overnight work on Rock Quarry Road near Raleigh is finished for the morning. Work is being done between Auburn, Nightdale Road and Old Balcom Road. This is part of the NC 540 expansion project. That stretch will be closed every night this week from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. The entire 540 expansion is expected to be complete in late 2028.
Happening today, Raleigh police are encouraging people to wear purple for domestic violence awareness. And the department will also host an event to honor survivors. In fact, survivors will give testimony of their experiences. RPD will talk about how the community can help support victims and prevent domestic violence. The rain location for that event will be at the Police Training Center on Spring Forest Road. It all gets started around 10 o'clock this morning. Well, check this out. The Los Angeles Dodgers celebrating this morning and getting some much-needed rest after winning one of the longest World Series games in history.
Freeman sends a fly ball to center field. Varsho's going back before the clock strikes midnight. Freddie Freeman has ended it.
Oh, boy. In the 18th inning, around 2:50 this morning, our time, Freddie Freeman hitting a walk-off solo homer to end Game 3. The Dodgers win it 6-5. They're up 2-1 in that series. Hey, it's a short turnaround for the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. Game 4 of that World Series tonight in Los Angeles. You can watch all the action right here at 8 on Fox 15.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to be watching that game. All right, coming up for us, calls for accountability. A fertility specialist at Duke accused of fraud and fathering multiple children with patients without their consent. The next steps the hospital is taking and their plea to other patients.
And heading to break, we're going to give you one live look now at this crash on I-95, shutting down the I-95 in the southbound lanes near Micro. You can see first responders and crews working to clear that scene. The WRAL Breaking News Tracker is right there on the scene. She'll have a live report at the bottom of the hour.
And it is messy out there. Not only is it raining, but the winds are really gusty to almost 40 miles per hour now around the triangle. I'll show you what the winds will do as we get through the afternoon. It is 8:13, and we're taking a look, of course, at Melissa, which is just inching closer and closer in terms of the center of circulation. Of course, all of this where you see those dark shaded areas are where we are already seeing those rain bands that are producing extremely strong winds, storm surge, very heavy rain. So it's happening in Jamaica, of course. But we do watch the center of the circulation because this is where the winds usually are stronger. Wherever you are, wherever you see the center of circulation passing over, this is where the worst of the damage tends to be, especially on the right side of this. So if I take a measure of the edge of the eye all the way to the coastline there, it's only about 33 miles or so. But we just got the 8 o'clock advisory, officially 55 miles from sort of that western tip of Jamaica right now. So just remains a terrible situation. We'll watch this path. It's going to move slowly over the island of Jamaica with winds at 175, 165 miles per hour. And then Category 4 in Cuba, Category 2 across parts of the Bahamas. So a lot of devastation with this system for sure. Coming up, meteorologist Chris Michaels is going to tell us a little bit about the hurricane hunter's recent trip into the storm. Ken?
8:14, Elizabeth. We got some new information about that crash on I-95 southbound, closing part of that interstate near Micro. You see the huge delays it's causing there in the Micro area. We just found out from the State Highway Patrol as we take these live pictures with the help of photographer Michael Joyner that you can see the crumbled mess. One of the drivers went to the hospital as a precaution for treatment. The other driver is expected to be okay. But this road is expected to be remain closed for quite some time. If you're heading south on I-95, your best bet will be to take Highway 301 there in Kenley. I'll have another update in less than 10 minutes.
All right, Ken, thank you. Patients are demanding accountability because a Duke fertility doctor used his own sperm to get his patients pregnant. According to Duke Archives, Dr. Charles Pete worked for Duke for nearly 4 decades. He died in 2013. Genetic testing reveals that he fathered more than a dozen children outside of his immediate family. Lori Krupa was one of his patients. She learned years later Pete was the sperm donor for her 3 children.
He had said, hey, I might use my own sperm. Are you okay with that? That's a different story, but that's not what happened.
Krupa says that she wants Duke to send a letter to each of Pete's patients to inform them about what he did. Other people that we spoke with who were affected are demanding North Carolina lawmakers pass legislation to address fertility fraud. In a statement, Duke called Pete's actions unacceptable and said they are in communication with the victims who have come forward.
The town of Hillsborough is calling off its contract for license plate readings cameras. The Board of Commissioners initially paused the installation of the cameras over privacy concerns. But last night, the board voted unanimously to cancel the town's contract entirely. The police department wanted to use the cameras for investigations and provide assistance in finding missing people and solving crimes. Town leaders say they still want the police department to have the tools they need to keep the community safe.
The Hillsborough Board absolutely wants the Hillsborough Police Department to have funding for the tools to carry out their mission of protecting the public while also protecting the civil rights of our residents and visitors.
Hillsborough Mayor Mark Bell says the cameras that were already installed will be removed.
The city of Durham wants you to learn more about new pathways along Horton Road. These new paths would be from Guest Road to Roxborough Street. Pre-construction work is expected to begin next week. The city is hosting an open house tonight to talk about the project. That will happen at Whippoorwill Park from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. And work begins today on a new health sciences building at Durham Tech. The school is hosting a groundbreaking ceremony on the main campus. The new facility is expected to help students prepare for a career in healthcare. Today's ceremony will be at the Wynn building at 10 a.m.
History is taking root in Cary. The original Henry Clay oak tree stood in Raleigh more than 200 years ago at the corner of North Blunt and East North Streets. A local tradition says it was named after Whig presidential candidate Henry Clay, who penned his Raleigh letter onto the tree in 1844. In the 1990s, a seedling from that original tree was planted on the grounds of the Page Walker Hotel in Cary. A seedling from that tree was grown from an acorn in 2024, and now the third generation Henry Clay oak tree has been planted in the Cary Tree Archive.
Well, check this out. We are getting a look at the eye of Hurricane Melissa. This is incredible. This is video from yesterday from the U.S. Air Force's hurricane hunters. Melissa became a Category 5 storm yesterday morning, and a storm as strong as Melissa is pretty rare for this time of year. Meteorologist Chris Michaels is here now to explain why this was able to get so strong so quick. Chris.
And Michelle, that flight, one of the flights yesterday actually had to be abandoned early due to the severe turbulence within the storm. It's a Category 5, which in October is exceptionally rare. There have only been 8 other storms on record that have become Cat 5 in October or later. The most recent was Milton last year. There was also Michael and Matthew in 2018 and in 2016. But this one is, again, exceptionally strong, stronger than Katrina in the sense that its pressure dropped lower than Katrina did at its peak. And now we're just a couple hours away from landfall in Jamaica. Part of the reason why this became so strong was just how warm the ocean water has been and how deep that warm water extends. So that's the fuel for this storm. In addition to that, the upper level winds have been weak surrounding the storm, so nothing to tear it apart. But as we go in future time here, you notice as it gets toward Bermuda, the increased wind shear from the East Coast is going to help it to weaken a little bit. Thankfully, the showers we have this morning not related to Melissa, and they are fairly weak, but it's enough, Elizabeth, to cause a bit of a mess on the commute.
And I think it's all three things, too, Chris. It is raining out there, not terribly heavy, but we do have some fairly strong winds and really chilly temperatures. So it's kind of a miserable start to the day. You can see the patchy nature of the rain right now. That's likely to continue through the afternoon and into the evening. Not likely to be heavy for an extended period of time, but you might run into some bands where you see some brief heavy rain and then maybe a little bit of a break, and then more rain rolls in a bit later. How much rain have we seen? Boy, we really needed it. And we've had some pretty good totals so far. Fayetteville, a little over an inch of rain. As we take it out all the way to the sort of the end of the loop there, we've seen almost 2 inches in parts of Johnston County, as well as up near the Virginia line, especially north of I-85. Around Durham and around Hillsborough, we've seen as much as an inch to an inch and a half. And officially right around the airport, it's been maybe a little bit under an inch. But good to see this soaking rain, that's for sure. It's all due to this low pressure system. And this low is a coastal low. And so that means we may have some overwash on Highway 12. We'll talk more about what we could see on the coast in just a little bit. A bit of a break tomorrow, and then round 2 comes with this next system Wednesday night into Thursday. We'll watch that on a Futurecast here. You can see the low pulling away from us as we get through the day. And a bit of a break tomorrow. There's 8 a.m. with not much rain, and then during the evening on Wednesday, there's 6 p.m. overnight Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. We'll have more rain, and then gradually that pulls out just in time for Halloween and trick-or-treaters. Just some scattered rain as we see our Futurecast moving forward. There at lunchtime, there's not a whole lot of rain left, but it will be on and off all the way through the evening commute. How much more rain could we see? Well, maybe 3/4 of an inch in Fayetteville, from the Triangle area northward, another inch to an inch and a half as we see that second system come through as we get through the day on Thursday. High surf along the Outer Banks. We have a coastal flood warning in effect for 1 to 3 feet of inundation. That means flooding, and of course that means overwash potentially along Highway 12, and some gusts up to 50 miles per hour. Certainly possible that we would see another house or two fall into the water. In Raleigh, we're looking at just really messy conditions, some rain, some really windy conditions, winds gusting up to 37 miles per hour now, Fayetteville at 29, Rocky Mount 26, and Goldsboro 26. And we'll continue to see these gusty winds at 25 miles per hour tomorrow and back up to 30 miles per hour on Thursday. It's still going to be a bit breezy for us on Friday, too. Fortunately, Friday looks dry for the trick-or-treaters. We're going to talk about trick-or-treat time temperatures coming up in just a little bit. And don't forget, on Saturday night, set those clocks back. Right now, the weekend looks dry. Ken?
Excellent. We're staying on top of that breaking news on I-95 in those southbound lanes. Right now, we're talking about I-95 southbound closed around the micro area. It's a situation that involves a couple of tractor trailers. Let's get these live pictures with the help of photographer Michael Joyner. You can see crews trying to push all that debris to the side of the road to at least get one of those lanes open. We do have some new information. We know that one driver of that tractor trailer is okay. The other driver was taken to a Cumberland County area hospital just to be on the safe side in terms of what we're seeing. So if you're there, Highway 301 there in Kenly is your best alternate route. We're seeing the huge heavy congestion here on the southern loop of the Beltline I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. Similarly, things have really gotten a little better on I-87 coming in from Nightdale, but still you're looking at congestion because people are taking it slow this morning. You're looking at an 18-minute delay if you're coming in from Nightdale, a 9-minute delay for friends in Wake Forest coming in on US 1.
All right, thank you, Ken. The countdown is on to Halloween. 5 on your side is showing you how to make sure you're not tricked into losing money as you scramble to find that perfect costume. And cutting down on noise. Wake EMS says it is changing the way it responds to calls. How they say it can lead to less dangerous situations on the roads.
Stay safe with the latest WRAL Weather Alert Day info. Get up to the minute weather and traffic conditions when you get in your car. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. A messy start to our Tuesday morning. Rain, not particularly hard, but we are seeing a lot of rain on the roads, making for a messy commute. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking that for us.
Yeah, it is messy out there for sure. Live look at dual Doppler 5000 radar on this WRAL Weather Alert Day. We're going to continue to see the radar looking like this. It's going to be patchy and scattered on through the afternoon, and some of that rain will still be with us during the evening commute. 90% chance this morning, but it does back off during the evening commute to around 50 to 60% chance. Still means it's going to be very messy. On top of that, windy. We have winds gusting in the triangle up to 37 miles per hour right now, and it's going to feel chilly. It's going to feel more like mid to late December with highs in the low 50s. Ken?
All right, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. That situation there on I-95 in the southbound lanes causing a section of I-95 to close right around the micro area. It's a situation that's in the clearing phases right now, but once you see purple, it means that that road remains closed. Let's take a live look with the help of photographer Michael Joyner. You can see crews are trying to push all that debris on the side of the road to at least get one lane open. We know that one driver went to the hospital, another driver is okay. We'll have another update at the bottom of the hour over on Fox 50.
Thanks, Ken. A Durham caregiver who is accused of stealing money from her clients is in jail without bond. 35-year-old Kirsten Gibson has been charged and is expected in court tomorrow. Warrants say Gibson works at the Durham Ridge Assisted Living Facility. And this morning, authorities are investigating after a car hit and killed a man on NC 50 near Benson. State Highway Patrol says a man and his wife were trying to turn around on the road, got stuck in a ditch. The man attempted to direct traffic, and a car hit him. Next on Fox 50, SNAP benefits for more than 1 million North Carolinians are in limbo.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
And that breaking news takes us to I-95 southbound near Micro remain closed at this hour. Crews are working to push a couple of tractor trailers that were involved in that crash to the side of the road. We have new information coming up in a live report from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker.
And as you can see from that, the rain is making for a disruptive commute. I'll show you how many more hours we expect this rain to continue coming up.
And those wet road conditions that we are dealing with this morning. You are looking live from the WRAL Storm Tracker in Raleigh. What you need to know before you grab your keys.
Benefits in jeopardy. More than 1 million North Carolinians may not get their SNAP benefits next month. The push from state leaders to find a solution. So much to get to here as we help you get your day started at 8:30. Thanks for being with us. I'm Ken Smith.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Yeah, today was the first day that I was like, okay, it's chilly.
Yeah.
It's fall.
Yeah.
It is not a nice start to our Tuesday. Meteorologist Chris Michaels tracking it all for us, Chris.
Yeah, guys, good morning. So we're starting out with, again, that disruptive commute that we've seen from some of the live cameras and live footage there on I-95. So that's why we just urge you to use some caution this morning. Even midday into the afternoon, the rain will be fairly steady. And and while it's beneficial toward our drought, it is proving to be messy on the road. We'll give you the green light, though, this evening and overnight as rain gradually starts to shift off toward the east. But you see, it's just kind of a nasty start to the morning. All the blue and green indicating the light nature to the rain. But it is pretty gusty at times. Meteorologist Amy Wilmoth came into work and she's like, yeah, no, it's nasty out there. And yeah, this camera definitely proves that. You can see the leaves just kind of rustling there in the breeze. It's gusty at times. We saw a peak gust at RDU at 37 miles per hour, and we'll continue to see gusts of 25 to 35 miles per hour up until sunset. Then our storm system pulls offshore and the wind will weaken a little bit. But check this out. High temperature today at 52 in Raleigh. That's close to a record low for the day. I'll show you what it'll take for us to break out of this chilly raw pattern coming up. Ken?
All right, Chris, at 8:32, we're staying on top of that breaking news on I-95 in the southbound lane near Micro. That section of road remains closed this morning as a result of a crash involving two semi-trucks. Let's get right to WRAL's Ali Katlabar in the WRAL breaking news tracker. So, Ali, still an active scene behind you.
Still very active, and crews just told us that cleanup would be underway for at least 2 hours, possibly less than that. We just saw a tow truck pull part of this tractor trailer away. We also can see that mess on that shoulder right there. That is all a part of the cab, and we know that the driver inside that cab, a man, he was taken to the hospital and he's expected to be okay. There's also damage to the tractor trailer. There's another tractor trailer farther down the road that was also involved. We know the only person who was injured was the man in the cab of that 18-wheeler, and so this is still under investigation. State Highway Patrol tells me they're still working to figure out the exact cause of this crash, but we know this is causing a lot of traffic, a lot of detours. Ken, what do people need to know?
Yeah, the main detour is around Bagley Road, and you can see even Highway 301 getting a little jammed up as a result of people avoiding what's happening there on I-95. If you're listening to us on 101.5 HD3 and you haven't gotten to this area yet, you might want to get off on the Highway 301 exit there in Kenley just to be on the safe side. Just know that once you get down around Bagley Road, you'll be running into a little bit of congestion as well. The southern loop of the Beltline, things are getting a little congested there on I-9, I-40 in those westbound lanes. Things have gotten a lot better on I-87 this morning. There were a couple of incidents blocking the shoulder of the road on I-87 at Smithfield, then at New Hope. So right now you're just looking at a 4-minute delay coming in from Nightdale, 8 minutes for friends in Wake Forest coming in from Wake Forest this morning, and just 6 minutes. So things are getting better on US 1 coming in from Apex. You're getting ready to head into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Ken. Well, the roads are wet as people are heading out this morning. Kelsey Coffey and the WRAL Storm Tracker monitoring those road conditions for us. Kelsey, what are you seeing?
Michelle, it's just a messy commute this morning all across our viewing area. We'll give you a look now at US 1 near the Walnut Street exit. You can see that we're hitting a little bit of traffic here, just a normal part of the morning commute around this time as folks are headed off to work. We'll see if we can give you a view from up top here. We'll try to wipe off that for you, but you can just see those ominous clouds, and there's more traffic there in the distance. But before you head out the door, make sure that you give yourself a little bit of extra time because you may be driving slower. Your visibility will be impacted in some areas. But as far as your morning commute, this is what you should be expecting. So we'll keep you updated here in the next 30 minutes. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Wake County.
And we have you covered on all fronts with the WRAL weather app. It is free to download with more than a dozen different radar views to choose from. Make sure to turn on those push notifications so you receive important weather alerts for your neighborhood right in the palm of your hand.
Well, turning now to Hurricane Melissa, expected to hit Jamaica as a powerful Category 5. This is a live look right now at the Flatbridge area of Jamaica. It's a situation there that people are bracing for the worst. It's the worst storm to hit Jamaica in history. It is expected to bring catastrophic rain, widespread flooding, landslide, destructive winds. So far, there have been at least 7 hurricane-related deaths in other Caribbean islands so far. Well, this is video from the U.S. Air Force hurricane hunters flying through that eye of the storm. At one point, they had to turn away, which is unheard of for hurricane hunters to be able to turn away from the storm because turbulence got so bad inside the storm's eye wall. They say that it is relatively rare experience. Well, coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll hear from local local couple who visiting Jamaica on their honeymoon and now stuck Melissa barrels toward that island. But more than 1 million people in North Carolina may soon lose their federal food assistance. SNAP benefits won't go out November 1st if the government shutdown continues. WRAL's Laura Levine explains what this means for so many people who rely on these benefits to put food on the table.
Food banks and organizations across the state, like Interfaith Food Shuttle here behind me, are preparing to see a surge in people in need of their services like I've never seen before. Now, if this government shutdown continues, the government's SNAP program will no longer issue benefits in North Carolina beginning on Saturday, November 1st. SNAP provides food assistance to more than 1.4 million North Carolinians, including more than 600,000 children. We spoke with the local nonprofit called Table that feeds 1,125 Orange County kids every week. They say families are already being stretched thin, and this will exacerbate the hunger problem in our communities.
These families they're already struggling to make ends meet between cost of living and the rising grocery prices, and now to have important money taken away from them that they actually need.
So state health leaders are working with federal partners right now to find solutions. Meanwhile, happening today, Attorney General Jeff Jackson says that he will make a big announcement regarding how the state is working to protect those benefits. Laura Levine, WRAL News, Raleigh.
Chris Lovingood here in the WRAL Live Center. Within the past 30 minutes or so, give or take, we've learned from the Hope County Sheriff's Office they're investigating a double homicide. They say yesterday they were called to Cope Road, and this was in reference, as they say, a cardiac arrest. This isn't too far from Red Springs. But in terms of what they found when they arrived, they say they found 2 people who are unresponsive, but investigators haven't been specific on more information regarding the 2 people. If any substance was found, anything of that sort, it just says they found these 2 people unresponsive and that there are several agencies that are investigating this, including the SBI, Red Springs Police Department, and the Lake Waccamaw Police Department there. What we're trying to do is get more information because, again, we know 2 people died, but trying to get more specifics with that cardiac arrest report that was given. As soon as we have an answer, we'll report it here on WRAL News.
And this morning, Raleigh police still searching for the driver responsible for striking an off-duty firefighter and leaving the scene. For the first time, we are hearing from Michael Rhodes, out of the hospital now and recovering at home. Rhodes is a Raleigh firefighter, but was working at his part-time job removing trees last week on Skycrest Drive. He went to pick up a branch and was hit by a car. He does not remember being hit and only recalls regaining consciousness when first responders arrived. He walked us through what his injuries are.
Skull fractures, a little bit of blood in the brain lining, cuts, bruises, concussion, and ankle injury.
Rhodes still has a couple of weeks of recovery left until he can return to work. In the meantime, the search for the driver of that car is still on. Raleigh police are offering a $3,000 reward for any information that leads to an arrest.
Well, listen up. If you have Cigna insurance, you may soon be forced to pay out of pocket for doctors at UNC Health. You may have gotten a letter in the mail about this. UNC Health is working to negotiate a new contract with Cigna. Their current agreement expires November 30th. Now, without a new contract, Cigna plans will consider UNC Health providers out of network. That means prices would go up on December 1st. More than 60,000 people would be affected.
The Los Angeles Dodgers are celebrating this morning after winning a game that will go down in World Series history.
In Los Angeles, Freeman sends a fly ball to center field. Varsho's going back before the clock strikes midnight. Freddie Freeman has ended it. It's a repeat hero.
Yeah, Freeman did it in the 18th inning at 2:50 in the morning our time. Freddie Freeman hits a walk-off solo home run to end Game 3. The Dodgers win at home 6-5 against the Blue Jays. They are now up 2-1 in the series, and it's a short turnaround for the Dodgers and the Blue Jays because Game 4 of the World Series is tonight. You can watch that at 8 p.m. right here on Fox 50.
Well, tonight, watch the NBA on NBC. The Milwaukee Bucks hosting the New York Knicks. Tip-off at 8 p.m.
Stranded and scared as we watch for Melissa's landfall in Jamaica. We are hearing from a couple who's stuck there right now, their local ties and their plans to just wait it out.
Also, the countdown to Halloween. 5 on your side, sharing the 3 reminders to make sure you're not tricked into losing money as you scramble to find the perfect costume.
And it's a WRAL weather alert day. Here's a live look from the WRAL storm tracker in Raleigh. A wet morning commute. Ahead, meteorologist Chris Michaels will show us how much rain we can expect. And we'll also get another look at Hurricane Melissa.
.45, one of the more frightening satellite images of a hurricane I think you'll ever see. You got this Category 5 monster of a storm that is about to make landfall in the western part of Jamaica there, and it's showing no signs of weakening. It will be the first Category 5 on record to make landfall in Jamaica. Back here at home, it's breezy. It's kind of a nasty day, but in the grand scheme of things, you'll take this, right? It's you consider yourself lucky when you're just looking at a little bit of rain and a little bit of wind. It is decent at helping rain for us, especially because 15% of North Carolina is in a severe drought. It is proving to be messy on the roads, and we'll hear from Ken Smith here in about 15 seconds on that. But in terms of our hour-by-hour rain chances, I'll step out of the way so you can see those. Most widespread up until about 2 or 3 p.m., then turning scattered into the night with more rain on the way Wednesday. We'll show you how much coming up. Ken?
All right, Chris, we've got a handful of crashes dotting on live traffic map this morning, but the main issue that's happening right now is on I-95 southbound. This road remains closed right around the Bagley Road area there in Micro. Here's a live look with the help of photographer Michael Jordan. You can see crews trying to push all that debris out of the road so they can at least get one of those southbound lanes open. Right now, we know that one of those tractor-trailer drivers went to the hospital. The other one is expected to be okay. I'll have another update on this story coming up in just a short time. But if you're looking for the detour, it's Highway 301 there in Kenley.
All right, Ken, thank you. A heads up for Halloween costume procrastinators. If your last-minute scramble takes you to certain retailers, the Better Business Bureau wants you to consider 3 reminders before spending your money. Here's 5 on your side's Ashley Rowe.
If you're out shopping for last-minute Halloween costumes this week, the Better Business Bureau wants you to keep a few things in mind if you end up at one of those seasonal pop-up shops. Ask how long the store will be open. Specifically, if they will still be open after Halloween and if returns will be accepted when the spooky season's over. If they're not open, you might want to consider shopping elsewhere if you have the option. And speaking of returns, review the purchase policy before you buy. Ask if there's a website that can be used for contact or for returns. The Better Business Bureau warns if a shop can't offer concrete commitments on how they will handle any potential problems, you might want to reconsider doing business with them. And third, protect your private financial information. If you're purchasing pricey items, paying with a credit card can provide additional protection if there are issues and retailers disappear. Make sure to keep the receipt in case you need it to match up to your credit cards. Ashley Rowe, 5 on your side.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
Demi Lovato hitting the road in 2026.
Yeah, and Johnny Knoxville trading pranks for panic. Here's a look at what's trending. So listen, pop star Demi Lovato kicking off her North American tour in North Carolina. Lovato announcing her It's Not That Deep tour. She will be hitting 23 cities next year, starting in Charlotte in April.
Very cool. And ticket pre-sales will begin tomorrow. But how cool is that, starting in Charlotte? I love that.
Big fans
Our
of that.
neighbors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And we are getting a new look at the reboot of Fear Factor, hosted by Johnny Knoxville. Fear Factor House of Fear. It follows strangers facing extreme stunts, challenges, and mind games, all of them competing against each other for a grand prize. I saw a preview for this.
My gosh.
A woman was like locked in like a glass cage and
I
they
can't
dumped
even take
roaches on her. No.
See, for me, my fear factor would be having to walk through a tunnel of rats.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not great either.
God.
No.
By the way, it premieres right here at Fox 50 in January.
Oh, my goodness.
Incredible.
Well, as we watch for Melissa's landfall in Jamaica, we are also hearing from a local couple that are stranded there right now.
Yeah, Bridget and Wayne Todd traveled to Jamaica on their honeymoon. Now they are stuck there after their flight back to Arding International was canceled. The couple says they tried to rebook their flight, but that flight was also canceled. But only time will tell when they'll actually make it home.
We don't know what road conditions are going to be like for us to even make it to the airport, let alone if the airport's even going to be open. We're internally screaming a little bit. We're trying to remain as calm as possible.
The Todds plan to wait Melissa out at their resort. They're both paramedics, and they say they plan to help other people at the resort after the storm. We also spoke to a Pine Tops man who is visiting Montego Bay with his friends. He is also waiting for a flight out.
It doesn't feel good to be here at all. I understand people like the island looks beautiful. Yes, you can't take it away from it, but to be stranded here and to be stuck here, it's not a good feeling.
No, that is very scary. Right now, he has a flight scheduled for Friday, but he is preparing to stay put for the weekend because we don't know when the flights will resume. Well, we are tracking Hurricane Melissa right now. The Category 5 storm set to make landfall, Ken, later this morning.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, this live picture here, it's Flatbridge, Jamaica. There's supposed to be a bridge right there, but because of all the rain, all the flooding that we're seeing, we're not even seeing the bridge anymore, Chris. And that's a harbinger of what's to come.
Exactly, yeah. So we're just hours away from landfall. It's all that stuff that's coming in ahead of the eye. And it's really tough to watch that. It's tough to watch some of the meteorological data come in as well. Melissa, at its lowest point, had a pressure of 901 millibar. That's one lower than Katrina, meaning that it is a stronger storm than Katrina and one of the lowest pressures we've ever observed in the Atlantic. And unfortunately for Jamaica, on the wrong side of history here, the strongest storm to make landfall on the island on record and the strongest since Gilbert, which was a Category 4 in 1988. So our thoughts, our prayers definitely going out to the folks there, and hopefully they've prepared as best they can in Jamaica. So from the tropics to our doorstep, things in the grand scheme of things are much better here. It's just kind of a nasty day. It's been a nuisance on the roads for sure. And you see those patches of light rain combined with some gusty wind as well. So things are pretty widespread for the most part right now. And what we'll see throughout the day as we broaden out the view is a lot of our energy getting passed off toward an area of low pressure offshore. So what that means in layman's terms is that showers will become a little more scattered for us. So the reason for our alert day is because of all the kind of trouble spots that we've seen on the road, and Ken has been telling you about those all morning. But about 90% of the area dealing with rain until midday, and it's a very gradual decrease in the amount of rain that we see heading deeper into the afternoon and into the evening. But one thing you'll also notice out there is you might be holding onto your umbrella and it's getting blown away by the wind. That's something that's going to continue between now and about sunset, as our wind gusts are about 25 to 35 miles per hour. They're a lot stronger toward the outer banks, as they're looking at gusts there about 50 to 55. But all of this is making it feel like mid to late December out there. High temperature in Raleigh 52 and Fayetteville 55. It's about 3 to 4 degrees away from the record cold high that we set back in 1976. Now, in terms of rain chances moving forward, by tomorrow morning, it's not going to be quite as wet as what we've seen so far this morning. But Wednesday night into Thursday morning, a second storm system pushes through, gives us another shot of some rain. Back to Hurricane Melissa. It is a Category 5 storm forecast to make landfall as that. And then our cold front that gives us rain Wednesday night is going to push the storm far away from U.S. soil. So we don't expect any kind of immediate or direct impacts here in North Carolina. But let's bring it back for the next 7 days. 50s tomorrow. Then after that second front, temperatures in the mornings will be in the 40s, and the afternoons will be in the 60s. Great weather for some trick-or-treating. It'll be a little on the chilly side. And then don't forget, we're turning the clocks back 1 hour as we head into Sunday morning.
All right, thank you, Chris. Before we go to break, here are your winning lottery numbers. We'll get another check on weather and traffic next.